everybody, it's Heather from Cottontail Crafts. It's Friday, January 16th, and I have a few things to show you that I have crocheted. It's about 11 in the morning, and my hands are feeling a little tired. I did use Bernat this week and a little bit of Elise Voluto. So I did switch to plush for some things, but I think after I film, I'm going to take a break, and I'm probably just going to make some more safety eyes because I've been going through some safety eyes. I have a little bit of room on some of my sized eye boards that I bought. So I'm going to take a break, make some eyes. I'll probably crochet a little bit more tonight. I have all day tomorrow. I don't think we have any plans tomorrow unless Dave wants to go shopping, which he usually seems to want to do on Saturday. So we will see. But yeah, I have a few pattern tests. I have one pattern that I bought last summer that I remade some more things. And then I have a new pattern. Actually, I have two repeat patterns. But the first thing I made this week was Asia the elephant, and this is a pattern from April, and she is the cozy Buckeye. And this is my first elephant. I made two elephants. And she's like, how many rounds is in your trunk? I don't know what I did, but I made the trunk too long. I can't really cut it off because you start with the trunk and then it's continuous into the head. So I can't cut off the trunk, recrochet it and sew it on because then I would ruin it. But I might string some yarn in and see if I can get it to curl up. So if I end up doing that, I will be back to show you what it looks like. I used Bernat blanket for this. I used 20mm safety eyes. And because I felt like I screwed up the trunk on the first one, I did go ahead and make a second one. And this trunk does look a lot better. It looks a lot better. Oh my. Elephants and trunks. I think we had this discussion on one of me and Robin's combined lives one time. It kind of got out of control. But yeah, anyway. So there's my second elephant. I might curl his trunk up too. We'll see. But I've done quite a few of April's loaf critters, and I did a koala in my last video, and it turned out super cute. So if you want to see that, go watch my last video. These get released today, so today is Friday. You won't see this till Sunday. All these patterns will be linked in the description below because even though I did do a few pattern tests this week, they will all be released by the time Sunday comes around. So that's a good thing. I will have them all linked in the description below. So this is Asia the elephant. Pretty easy. She has really good pictures of how to do the trunk. Because you are, once you get the trunk finished, you are crocheting in the front loops and the back loops. She has a really great picture. Where your stitch marker should be after you finished it, you know. Lots of guide on this cute little fella. So, yeah, I did two elephants. People seem to like elephants, so hopefully they will do well. Then the next thing I did was this is a pattern that I had bought during Black Friday weekend. I'm still trying to work through some of those patterns. But this is a little capybara, and this is from the crochet code on Etsy. And it was pretty cute, pretty easy. I had no issues with the pattern. I did use Parfait Chunky, so he is a little bit smaller than if I had to use the Parfait Plush. I really want to start using some of my Parfait Chunky stash. I should have made one in plush just to see, but I want to see if this sells first before I make another one. But yeah, you make the legs, the ears set aside, you start crocheting from the front and you go to the back. It's no-sew, really quick and easy, and then you just do your embroidery later. So no issues with the pattern, quick and easy. The crochet code on Etsy. I don't think I follow them on Instagram. I'll have to check. Again, Asia the Elephant is 100% no-sew as well. You start with the trunk, it works into the body, you crochet the ears in as you go, and then you surface crochet the tail after you're done. So then actually, when I was filming my last video, after I filmed and I was going back upstairs, I had dropped this little fella on my way down to filming, so he was actually made last week, but did not get included in that video, so I thought I would just tack him on to this video. This is the little monster pack that I featured last week, and this is from Ollie's Crochet. So it's just one more little sprout that I had made. Pretty quick and easy. Crochet the arm, set aside, do one leg, set aside, do the other leg, join, crochet the arms in. She has you crochet the leaves and sew them on. I really think you could surface crochet these. These are, I believe they're 18mm eyes. They could be 16. They could be 16. This is Sweet Snuggles Light Bloom yarn, and this is Elise Voluto. Stinking cute. I still want to make the monster with the popping mushroom, and there's another one with the flower cap. But I just thought I would show it because it got missed last week. So there's another little sprout. They're called monster. It's a monster pack, but this is a sprout. She has different ones in there. I showcased this last video, so if you want to see all the ones you can make, you can go back to my last video. But I will link the pattern in the description below. So that's adorable. And then I applied to pattern test Stacy's cow. She's coming out with a new body style, and I've pattern tested quite a few of her fancy pants, but I seen that she came out with a tester call for this cute little cow, so I applied and got picked, and it's pretty adorable. Now Stacy, I believe she yarns under and I yarn over. I usually don't have to adjust anything when I'm doing her patterns, especially for like the fancy pants. But this cow I did. When I got to the round that has the ears, I had to adjust everything by 1 stitch, which is not a big deal. Most patterns will tell you to, you know, plus or minus your stitches depending on your tension. But because I had to adjust that round, it threw the legs off too. So I did another one, and I adjusted it where it will work for me. This is no sew. You crochet the legs, arms set aside. You start with the muzzle. You're working back. The ears and horns get crocheted into the round. Legs and arms are crocheted in. You are surface crocheting the tail later. And I used Elise Voluto and a 5mm hook and 20mm safety eyes. But I love the size of these. I think these will be more market friendly. I mean, even though Shannon Splooters do sell well for me, I think a lot of people this year are going to be buying the cheaper prices. So I think this is a great make for markets. So after I got the cow done, somebody in the group had mentioned something about, you know, maybe a modification for a Highland cow. So she added the little hair strands for the Highland cow. So I'm like, well, I will make another one. I'll see if I can adjust so I don't have to fiddle around with this round and my leg round. So what I did was, after round 2, I did 1 single crochet, and then the next stitch was my starting round. And then I didn't have any problems with the round that the ears and the horns go in. So I will have to make a note of that so that when I make more, I will automatically know that round 3 I have to add 1 single crochet before I start the next round. Here's a little hair for his, or you're chaining up and then slip stitching back in the head. And you can do as many as you want. You know, you could probably attach some faux fur. You could probably attach some blanket yarn and do hair like single stranded. I think there's lots you can do to modify it to make it look like a Highland cow. But I did what the pattern called for. So I wanted to showcase the cow and then the Highland cow. And like I said, this one I used the Elise Voluto, and this one I used Parfait Plush because my hands were yelling at me a little bit, and the Parfait Plush is so much easier on me. I decided to switch to the Parfait Plush, but they're adorable. And Robin tested these too. And we kind of hinted, you know, we could, you know, test your pig too, Stacy, if you like. So she was generous enough to send us her pig pattern. And all the pictures for these have to be sent in by noon on Saturday. So when this video goes up on Sunday, they will be all available. And again, I will link them all in the description below. But I did her little pig too, and he turned out adorable too. Now, I didn't have to adjust anything on the pig, but he's no sew as well. So I used Mystical Bernat for both shades of pink. This is Pink Quartz. I can't remember what this one's called. I did 20mm safety eyes. Ears are crocheted in the round. Arms and legs are crocheted ahead of time and then crocheted into the round. The tail is crocheted into the round. So he is no sew. And he's, I mean, for me, not much smaller than the cow. But these are adorable. She's going to be coming out with more, so stay tuned for that. But farm animals are pretty popular. And again, I like the size of these. You did a really good job, Stacy. And I can't wait to see what you come out with next. Adorable. So I got 2 cows and a pig done. Stacy makes On Etsy, she is Apple Tree Boutique. So cute. So then my hands were yelling at me a little bit. So I'm like, what can I work on next? And I mean, I love Shannon's patterns so much. And I kind of want to do one splooter a week just to build up my stock. I still don't have any markets in sight for this year. So I'm just going to work on, you know, a splooter here, splooter there. I have made this one before. This is Cookie the cat. And she sold at the first market I had her to. And the last time I made her, I will throw up a picture. I did a black cat with purple eyes. This time I decided to do blue eyes. And this time I decided to do the toe beans. Last time I didn't do the toe beans. And can I just say, she's pretty stinking cute. I used plush yarn, 30mm eyes, 5mm hook. This is Sweet Snuggles Light. This is kind of like a, it's not really pink, it's not really lavender, it's kind of like a blush color, I guess. But yeah, I wish I had done the toe beans on the first one, but like again, she sold first market I had her at. These eyes I decorated myself. She's pretty cute. Very easy. The only thing you have to sew is the head to the body and the ears to the head. The tail and the legs are crocheted into the round. And I sewed on a pink nose to match her toe beans. So I'm hoping she comes out with her other horse modifications pretty soon, because she shared one on Instagram that I am dying to do. It's adorable. I'll throw up a picture of her Instagram picture. Love your patterns, Shannon. Can't get enough of them. I hear nothing but good things about them. A lot of other channels are doing them. I mean, you hit the ball out of the park with this line. Let me tell you. I don't know. I just enjoy them. Like, I do. I can't explain it. You have to do one for yourself to know what I mean. But I had to do another splooter. So then I got tagged on Instagram by Miss Robin. She tagged me in this cute monster for a tester call. And I will throw up a picture of the tester call because Amanda's monster is adorable. So her name is Amanda King. On Instagram, she's Electric Scribbles. And on Etsy, she's The Electric Scribbles. And I believe this is releasing on Saturday. So again, it will be released by the time you see these. Robin already showed hers on Wednesday. These were such a joy to make. So easy. She gave us free rein on how we wanted to embellish them. After a few of us got our first monsters done, she came out with some modifications for crocheting the arms in, smaller horns. I just love these. I love these. I had so much fun making these, and being in a pattern test with Robin was a lot of fun too, because we're both making the monsters, and like we had some good laughs. So this is the first one I made, and I made him with the Bernat Mystical. The horns I made at a Parfait Chunky. I used a 5mm hook, 4.5mm hook. I used 30mm safety eyes. I decorated these. And then I decided to sew on some embellishments just to tie in his eye color. But you crochet the arms, set them aside. You crochet one leg, set aside, crochet the other leg. You join, you work all the way up, and then you sew on the arms. You can tie the ears in. I sewed mine on because I wanted them right under my horns. So the horns you sew on, so I did sew the ears on. And I added some little yarn for a belly button. This was adorable. The mouth you surface crochet. I made this one and then I instantly am like, okay, I'm gonna make another one. And I had just gotten a shipment of Elise Voluto. I unboxed it on my last live. If you want to watch that, go check it out. But the second monster, I used Elise Voluto, 30mm eyes. This time, I crocheted the arms in, and I did it the same way that Robin did it. There's 6 single crochets around. We crocheted 3 on one row and then the other 3 on the next row. And I believe we did this between rounds 15 and 16, but I made another one and I decided to do 14 and 15 because I wanted his arms kind of below his mouth. I did a puff stitch for the belly button the second time, and I sewed on some embellishments. The horns I did at a Bernat blanket, so the horns are a lot longer on this one. But he's a monster. You can switch it up, play around, have so much fun. I love these eyes, and I think when I make some more eyes today, I'm going to do some more eyes besides blue and green because I have a lot of blue and green because I made them for Shannon's Night and Light Fury. So I really want to get fun with my eye colors today. But I enjoyed this pattern so much. Amanda, thank you so much for letting me test. I hope we can test for you again soon. I hope you get many sales. This is adorable. It was just so much fun to do. So much fun to do. Like, look at his little legs, his little arms. Adorable. So I'm like, okay, well, I made 2. I should stick with 2, see if they sell first. But I just couldn't. I had to make another one. So I'm like, well, I can't use the Bernat. I'm going to use Sweet Snuggles Light or Chenille Home Slim. And I made a third one. And this one, I did do the arms 1 round lower. You can't really tell though, but I did. And again, I like to sew the ears on right under the horns, so I don't tie these in as I'm crocheting up. I have these bright coral discs that I got on AliExpress when I ordered some discs, and I've never really reached for them. I'm like, they're so bright. What am I going to use these on? And then I'm like, I have some bloom yarn. I will make a monster and use the bright pink eyes. So that's what I did. And then there's a little bit of green flecks through the yarn, so I did green horns. So she has these horns in the pattern, and then she has smaller horns, which is just this pattern, but a couple of rounds taken off. So I did the smaller horns, and then I felt like they were just a little bit too small. So I did add one of these rounds to the smaller version. So I did the smaller horns on this one. I decided not to do any spots on him because he's variegated. He's got a little bit of a belly button defect. It's a little off center, but that's okay. He's a monster. But look how derpy he is. He's so cute. Oh my gosh, we had so much fun. We had so much fun testing these. Just a joy. Such a joy. So, oops. Let's see if I can get them all in shot here. So I made 3 monsters. Let's see if I can get a thumbnail. I love them. Absolutely love them. And they really didn't take long. I was surprised. I was really surprised at how quickly these worked up. Just such a joy to do. Thank you again, Amanda, and I hope we can test for you again soon. This was a pleasure. Such a pleasure to do. So I hope these sell well because I definitely want to make some more. And I want to make some really outlandish eyes. I want to get crazy with the colors. So I think after I film, I'm going to haul out my glitter and resin and play. So then I was reading through my comments that I got on my last video, and I was talking about, it was during my live, I was showing the yarn that I got in my yarn haul from the Elise Voluto, and I got some variegated yarn, and I'm like, I've made turtles with the variegated yarn, like the shells and stuff, but I'm like, the yarn looked like it worked up differently than I thought it was going to. So I'm like, what else can I make with this yarn, the variegated yarn? And I had a subscriber comment, and her name is Jill Anderson. Thank you so much. As soon as I read your comment, I knew what I was making next. I was making Melly inspired Crochet's Frog. I bought this pattern last summer, and this is Frankie Jr. And I bought the pack that comes with the large frog and the small frog. You can buy the duo pack, or you can just buy the small frog. I bought the duo pack. I'll link this in the description, and you can buy the duo if you want, or you can buy the single if you want. But she said to do the frog with variegated yarn. So that's what I did, and look at him. This is a very subtle variegated yarn, and I think that's why I struggled with it. But I think for this frog, it's adorable. Actually, this is the last one I made. I made this one like half an hour ago. But the first one I made, was this one. And I used Parfait Plush with the bloom yarn. And I did 16mm colored eyes. I don't know. I think I just like the plain old boring black eyes for these frogs. And I can't explain it, but I like just the black eyes. And I don't say that very often. I can't remember what size eyes Melly uses for her small frog, but I go up to a 16mm. So if you do this frog and you're doing the sinker eyes or larger black eyes than what she calls for, you're going to want to surface crochet your mouth before you put your eyes on. Because if you don't, you're going to have a hard time getting into your front loops only that you leave to do the surface crochet for the mouth. So as soon as I get my round of bobble stitches in, I surface crochet his mouth, and then I put his eyes in. I've gotten to the habit of doing that so I don't forget. And I made 6 of these between last night and this morning. This one I did Parfait Plush, This is a light, light, light pink and Bernat blanket. And Melly has you crocheting the bottom legs in the round and surface crocheting the arms. And I'm like, I just make the frog and then I surface crochet all the legs later. Because I'm like, why surface, like why chain, and like why do them in the round if you can just surface crochet them? I find it easier, so that's what I do. Because I find after you do the legs, your next round you're going around. For me, it kind of messes up my stitch count a little bit, so I ignore the pattern and I surface crochet these on later. So much easier for me. That's what I do. But I just love these little frogs. They're so stinking cute. So then I did another one. And this is Parfait Plush, Chartreuse Green, Seaweed Salad Green. 5mm hook, 16mm eyes. So I thought those two greens went really well together. And then I decided to break out some new Elise Veluto. And then I decided to do the variegated yarn with, and look at this green. I've never had this green before. It's a really pretty dark green. And I think you could match this variegated with any color. And I think it looks good no matter what color you use, because it's a subtle variegated, which I really like. So I think I have 3 balls of this variegated left. We'll see how long it lasts. But I really don't want to buy any more yarn for quite a while. Let me just show you all my Elise Veluto yarn. 2 great big boxes of it. And then on the top of that rack is the plush yarn. But most of that in that display is Parfait Chunky. There's a little bit of Bernat in the bottom left. So I have quite a bit of Parfait Chunky to work through. I have a lot of it to work through. So that's what I have so far. Again, I have all tonight and tomorrow to crochet. But I think I'm going to take a break and I'm going to make some eyes. I might have lunch first and then make some eyes. My Stampin' Up! Order was supposed to come today, but now it's delayed till Monday. I ordered a Valentine's Stampin' Up! Stamp and Die set because I want to make some new Valentine Day cards with the new set. I have a few cards left over from last year, so I'll probably take those over, but I want to make at least 6 cards with my new stamp set. And it looks like it's going to make some nice cards, so, but I can't do that till Monday. So I will be back later with some more makes. We'll see you in a bit. Hello everybody. It is Sunday, January 18th. And I did get a few more things made yesterday. I just wanted to come back, and I did go back and tack up Asia's trunk. And this is how it's supposed to look after you do her. But for some reason, my trunk did not want to curl up. But this is how she's supposed to look after you do her. And then if you don't want your trunk up, then you tack the trunk down. So I just wanted to come back and say, this is what she's supposed to look like after you do her. I don't know what I did wrong. So when I revisit her again, I will have to try to figure that out. But this is what she is supposed to look like. And she's adorable. So thank you, April, for letting me test Everybody had such cute elephants. A lot of people did different colors. One person even crocheted a little peanut, and the elephant was holding the peanut, and it was adorable. It was absolutely adorable. And I think April put that picture right in the pattern because it was so stinking cute. But there is Asia the elephant. Adorable. All right. So then yesterday I'm like, well, I really enjoyed making these little frogs with the variegated yarn. And I'm like, I'm pretty sure I don't have many big frogs left. So, like I said before, this pattern comes with the 2 different sizes. And that's the difference in size. These were 16 millimeter eyes. And I don't have 18 millimeter black eyes. I have 20. And the 20 just looked too big, and I didn't want to do 16 because the small frogs have 16. So I really wanted to do 18 millimeter eyes. So I did 3 frogs with 18 millimeter colored eyes. I mean, I would prefer the black eyes, but I'll have to order a pack of 18 millimeters. So I pumped out 3 frogs yesterday morning. They're adorable. I love this pattern. And they're fairly quick and easy. They don't take me that long. So I did 3 more frogs. This is Frankie Senior. That yarn, I really was stumbling on what to do with this variegated, so I really, very happy my subscriber said that she uses them on Frankie. Because I'm like, okay, I'm making Frankie's right away after I seen her comment. Okay, so I was getting ready to watch my hockey game last night, and I'm like, what do I want to work on? And I didn't want to start a new pattern. I wanted something that I was fairly familiar with, that I didn't really have to reference a pattern. So I went back to Pogsy's place, and I need to have a lot of these for this year. Now last year I made a bunch of these Pogsy's Place kittens, and this year I decided to make the beds to go with them. And I think I'm going to have a few priced together, and then I'm going to have a bin of the cats, a bin of the dogs, and then a bin of the beds. But I'll have a few displayed together so people can see what they look like together. And maybe some of the people who bought the cats and dogs last year will buy a bed this year. So I made 5 in total, and I made this one, and I used the variegated Elise Voluto. This is plush, 16 millimeter eyes, 5 millimeter hook. So I made a kitty kitty. And then I'm like, well, I have some cats that I made a couple of weeks ago. I went through my market stash, and I am out of the dogs. So I'm like, well, I better start market prepping the dogs. So this is the first dog that I did. And I used the cat beds because these are the same size as the cats. So if you want the dog bed, it's with the cat pattern. So I made this one. And this one is the Chihuahua. These noses I have in my stash. I probably got them on Amazon, years ago. So I made the Chihuahua. Then I made the Corgi. And he's pretty stinky cute. I've sold quite a few of him. He's got a little tail. And I really like the beds out of the Elise Voluto because it doesn't shed. So you don't got to worry about, you know, cutting your yarn and having it fray on you. So I did the Corgi. Then I did the Labrador. I really like the Labrador. I think he sold pretty good last year. You could do them in different colors. I kind of like the cream with the mustard ears. So I did blue eyes and a blue bed. So I made him. And then the last one I made was the Bulldog. And he's pretty stinking cute. He's pretty stinking cute. So I gave him blue eyes and a blue bed. So that's what I got made yesterday. So these are Pogsy's Place. And all these patterns will be linked in the description below. It's still quite early in the morning. We have to walk Milo, have breakfast, and then I want to work on my video, so I wanted to get my filming done before I walk Mr. Milo and have breakfast. And then I was down here yesterday a little bit and Friday, and I was playing around with some eyes. So I have quite a few eyes to finish because I wanted to fill up my ring displays again. But that's it. That's what I got for this week. So I'm going to jump off and get my video ready to upload, and I will see you Monday night with Miss Robin, and she's Knotting Hook Crochet, and I believe it's her turn to host tomorrow night. So we will see you tomorrow night. Bye, everybody.